All right, YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. I got an interesting topic for you, and it's I guess you can read. Let me move this so you can see this a little bit more. This is John Louis Wikiyama, something like that. But anyway, this is for fair use commentary. Like, share, and subscribe as you come into the building. Now, the topic is how Latinos and Hispanic people, they're not friends to black people or black culture. I mean, they live amongst us, but they're like the closest enemies that we have to us within our culture and within our framework. Because when they're around us, they identify with us. But when they're around the oppressor, they're around white people, they identify with white people. But they become even more sinister because they threaten to undermine our quest for reparations, and it's deliberate. When you seen Fat Joe say that Latinos invented hip hop, people were outraged to hear Fat Joe say Latinos created hip hop, not Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel and all the rest of them that we know actually did create hip hop in the Bronx. The Latinos wish to take credit for that, but what's deeper is what they're taking credit for now. Listen to John Williams. He say this.
That Latin people have been here in America since the Revolutionary War all the way to the birth of hip hop. Now, I know a lot of people got their feathers ruffled with that, but those are his words, not mine. Well, as he was interviewing and talking about his new special, this is what he said. Check it out.
Latin people, we're the largest ethnic group in America, the oldest ethnic group. We built this country. We suffered in this country. We were oppressed, and we're thriving. We add $2.8 trillion to the GDP every year. If we were our own country, we'd be the fifth largest economy in the world, bigger than England, bigger than Italy, bigger than Brazil. And that's just in America. So I found Latin excellence all over America, in Chicago, in D.C., in Miami, in Puerto Rico, in L.A., in New York. And we ate, we danced, and we celebrated, because nobody knows how to enjoy life as good as Latinos.
So yes, you heard him say, all the accomplishments that Latinos have, and they built this country. Now that one personally made me itch. It really did. And then he also used another word that's very familiar with us as black people, Latin excellence. And I'm like, so you just gonna steal all of black people's talking points? I have a better name for his show. How about Lion to Kick It with Leguizamo? Because that's what he's doing. Now listen, I'm not trying to take nothing away from Latin people. Yes, y'all have done some pretty amazing things in this world, but y'all ain't gonna replace black people with the stuff that we've done. Y'all, just like white people, appropriate black culture, take it for your own, and then try to act like you came up with it. You know what I mean? Now, of course, we can dispute a whole lot of things, but as far as stealing from black people, now we ain't going for it. Like, you really could make your own show and talk about all the things that y'all...
Now, I totally agree with her, but I see it a little bit more nefarious. I think that their whole aim as Latinos is to undermine black people's quest for reparations and get something for themselves. See, a lot of people may disagree with the reparations movement, but I don't see how you can. You know what I mean? Black people were enslaved and tortured for 400 years. Then after that 400 years, they experienced another couple hundred years of lynching and Jim Crow. And even to this day, we still suffer from discrimination and racial violence. So at what point do you realize that the plagues that you see in the black community are rooted in slavery and rooted in oppression and rooted in victimization? So when you see John Leguizamo come out and he says these things, he's not saying these things for no reason. He's saying these things because every other ethnic group wants to usurp and remove black people because black people are entitled to reparations. How can you not? You know what I mean? You gave everybody else reparations for what you did. And then, again, he wants to usurp our experience, just like in the Bible. In the Bible, the chosen people came from one bloodline, but it was usurped by somebody else. You know what I mean? There's somebody else running around talking about they're the chosen people of the Bible, but they from Europe. You got them talking. He's taking talking points from black people and minimizing black contributions because there were no Latinos on plantations building up America. That was black men and women and black children. And you may see it as not so damaging because you're not looking at the root of what it is he's trying to accomplish and why he's doing it. At this point, black people are at the most powerful position they've ever been in. That's why they're throwing so much at us. You know what I mean? We got the internet, we got media. We're dominating everything we touch, except for politics. And the reason we're not dominating politics is because we've allowed the Democratic Party to own our vote for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And if we had our own independent party, or we would allow Republicans and Democrats to fight their own battles while we built our own communities up, we would fare better and do better. We have to disconnect ourselves from these other people until we are united on one front. And I know people think, well, black people can't unite. We can't unite because we keep inviting everybody else in that's raising trouble in our community. You know, we keep forgiving and loving everybody, but forgiving and loving each other. You know what I mean? That's a sickness. You know what I mean? To where we can look and see this guy taking our whole experience, not realizing that he's doing it to undermine our quest for reparations. Fat Joe, when he came out, he said that Latinos created hip hop. It's ridiculous. And I made this video because I do want black people to understand Latinos and Dominicans are not your friends. They don't consider themselves black. They don't identify with us. They see us as secondary citizens even beneath them, even though they appropriate our culture. Even though they live among us, they dress like us, they act like us. It goes back to the old saying, everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to have nigga problems. You see what I'm saying? So we have to wake up and realize we don't have friends in other races and other cultures. They all view us in a light that is threatening to them. You know what I mean? They hate us for our dominance. Why would he? I mean, he got famous for being on a movie with Dave Chappelle, Half Baked. Every time you see him, he's in some movie that's geared at dealing with black people. But now he comes out and say this, and they say these things as if there's not going to be any pushback in social media. So, tell me what you think about when he says Latinos built this country. Latinos created hip hop. Tell me what you think about it. Do you think it's really not an agenda attached to it? Because it is an agenda attached to it. So, like, share, and subscribe to the video. Tell me what you think about it. And tell me what you think about the very question I posed. Do you think that Latinos and Hispanics are friends to the American black people, to black culture? Signing out of Detroit. Peace. Keep y'all head on the swivel.